Well, hello. How are you? And you. What you doing? I just worked on a project. How did I get into that? It was CeeLo Green. CeeLo Green, you had a project, and yours was like had a date on it, and I was like, well, what was I doing this time last year? I haven't looked at that since I did my last project. That was like at least like a week ago or whatever. For those of you who don't know, well, how should I explain this? Well, I just don't know how much detail in it. It seems boring to me. Like, I make artwork, and then I used to have a gallery to put all this in. I mean, not a gallery, but like a page. Not a gallery. I just think of it in my head. Like, that's what I would use it for. It's like a page where I would put all this artwork. But then Instagram just took it away one day. It just was like, dang, it was gone. It was like, sorry, no. Fuck. Okay. So a lot of it's just gone, like the art is just gone, like out of sight, like off of a page that I can't really access anymore. And so, which is always a bummer, man. I don't like that. I think we should pass a law where we have to at least have access to retrieve our belongings. That's like firing someone from a job and then like not letting them gather their things from their little locker or whatever. This is mean. Even if they have to escort someone out, they let them gather their belongings, right? Oh. Anyway, I don't even know what my point was. I've been doing, like, I guess, a retrospective. I was thinking today I should just call it Happy Trees. I have a lot of portraits. And 2023, the last half of 2023 and 2024, is basically a year and a half, like 18 months or so. We're really focused on art a lot. And that was really fun for me. I was in a situation where I was like, if I could do anything, what would I do? And I did that before and ended up, just kind of following my gut down to this, down to the free radio place where I did my radio thing. I was like, I'd probably do radio. I'd go find a place to do radio, go talk. I'd go yappity yap. And I did. Anyway, so whenever I have times where like I had to leave that job I was in, even though I still have students and stuff, but not necessarily like that. That job was formal where you'd have to do all this paperwork and do all this billing of things and, gross. I spent a lot of time doing stuff that was just felt like a huge waste of my time. And just a lot of energy and time going into this thing. I was like, this is not worth this. It's not worth my sanity. So then I was like, well, now what do I do? I didn't really know what to do. And so then I just focused on art. And I loved it. Anyway, so I don't have a page anymore for that. So what I've been doing is just going back, like people do with memories. And today, CeeLo Green had posted something. Hi, CeeLo. Hey, kitty. He posted something that had a date on it. And I was like, what happened? So then I went back and I looked. It's like, God, I had like tons of art. Just on this, like, February 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 4 days. And just tons of it. A lot of, like, the AI generated very simple things that then I would take and make crazy shit with. I don't know. It's weird, like the presenting of it or the sharing of it. Like I never used to share it with anyone. Like I didn't. Like every now and then, but it's just, it wasn't really about the sharing. It was about the making of it. But now it feels a little bit like the sharing of it because I like what I've made, and I'm proud of my work, even if nobody else likes it. I do. And I'm sure there's other people or whatever. So anyway, I thought, well, I'll go ahead and screen record. I'm just telling you the process of this because it was very organic. I was like, I'll go ahead and screen record just me going through the photos, where sometimes you just go kind of back and forth and you can kind of make it. I like to do that. It's like a method where it probably drives people crazy. It's not really a way to, it's just a weird way to keep your pictures and to watch them like quickly and weirdly. It's not really like a photo show where you're just like, dang, It's chaotic. Gosh, I got a horrible cold. I've been blowing my nose all day. Gross. Anyway, so I started to screen record that today. And then I had put on the Kooks album that I had never heard all the way through. I got stuck on the first and the last songs, and then I didn't really get to know the rest of the album. So I put the album on, and then I started screen recording, and it got to this one song that I was like, oh, that sort of matches, like, this sort of matches what this is. And so I was already screen recording it, so it already had the song in it, so I just like dumped it in the iMovie. I had to clip out like some extra long bits of just junk, mostly like extra AI bits. And then there was, I don't know why, I screenshot everything. I had to take out the screenshot of my bank statement thing. I was like, I must have been disputing something, and I was like, oh, I guess I don't really need to. Anyway, the rest of it should be fine. I don't know. Looked like a recipe for chicken sandwiches in there. I actually didn't slow it down. I wanted it to be organic, I just went through the actual file to make sure that there wasn't anything real personal or whatever. Or like other people. I don't want to, unless it's like somebody who's already in the public eye, then that's kind of like, it's kind of fair game, really. It's like something that I'm allowed to use, like manna from heaven. Unless you hate it, in which case, just tell me, and I'll take it down. I'll take it down if you hate it. I mean, if you're involved in it, or whatever, I could take. There's going to be more people that show up in them later this year because I did art for the whole year of 2024. What are you doing? I mean, right now, my most favorite kind of art is making stories and like drawing flowers. I love drawing flowers. Like if I'm going to take a break, I'll be like, I'm going to go on Instagram and I'm going to draw some flowers. Whatever inspires me, So I'm experimenting. Sometimes they're not great. I've been experimenting with like drawing characters and animals too. I just love creating things. If I had my way, I'd just create things and then come and talk to you guys. Do whatever this is. That's the thing, in the past, I'd say 6 months or so, I've really had to think about, a role as a teacher is going to clash somewhat with a role as an artist because, well, especially a role as a healer. Like healer, teacher, leader of a very tiny group. I was thinking why it's important for me to consider myself somewhat of a leader because, like when I was teaching classes, I was a leader. Like if you're showing up and you're teaching, and even if you have like 3 students, like you're still a teacher. You're still a leader of those people. I think for me, I mostly lead by example, I guess, but, or like I teach by example. Anyway, I've had to really weigh what of my art to share and where and what kind of artwork that I even want to make. Like sometimes I shift around to different things. I always shift around. I don't usually do the same thing over and over. I have like a phase where I do something and then I like go to something else. Lately it's been making these weird little flashing, annoying videos. I don't know, I just was into it. So my point was earlier, okay, so I'm recording this. I've got this music on, and then I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and make it like this. And so it's not thought out. It's not something that is deliberate. But I think it goes together well. Sort of bad habits, You got the rock and roll, you got the fried chicken, you got the television shows up in there. Okay. I'm a work in progress, And you are too. And we're going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. This whole group of us, we're all going to be okay. I don't know how many of you there are, but, you know, Jesus is with us, and if he's with us, then who could be against us? I mean, you could try. I feel like, there's nothing that we can't do with God. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, guys. I need to go blow my nose, obviously. Anyway, so I'm going to post that. Maybe I'll just post a chunk of this just to explain what it is, because I know it's just sort of a weird thing, and people are like, what is this? It's just me trying to find a place to share my artwork that I've made. And me not, I take screenshots a lot, especially if I'm trying to find a picture of, like, my muse, for example. If I'm trying to find a picture, I'll have to go through a bunch of them. Sometimes I'll use more than one. So that's why it ends up to look like I don't just sit around and stare at this person's picture all day. And in fact, you can see exactly how long it took to make each of those. It's kind of it's really pretty fast process there. Kind of quick art, speedy, roomy. Name that movie. Someone can name that. One day. Okay. Alright, you guys. What was I gonna do? I guess I'll go and post that. So, anyway. Love you guys.